Welcome once again to Sahara TV, and with us is the National Coordinator of the Take It Back movement, Comrade Sanyaolu Juwon, who is out of jail and outspoken critic of this government. It's a pleasure to have you on Sahara TV, Comrade Juwon.
Thank you for having me.
Let me first start by asking, can you briefly tell us how you were abducted by the state security service?
Yes, I was actually abducted by boats, the police and the DSS. As a matter of fact, one of them introduced himself as the DSS. So they've been tracking me, and then they tracked me down to Ikeja City Mall, as particularly ShopRite, and they then blocked me with 3 of their vehicles, and that was how they took me away.
How are you treated in the dungeons of the DSS and before you were actually moved to the notorious SAS facility?
Yeah, it was actually very bad. Once after they took me from Ikeja, then they drove me straight down to the state command, police state command, and then they took me straight up to the office of the police commissioner. And right in front of him, I was hooded, that I was blindfolded, and I was beaten up right in front of him.
You said you were blindfolded and beaten right in front of the police commissioner?
Yes, it was in his office. I was seated there.
That must have been shocking. What happened thereafter?
Yeah, and afterwards they forced me to get access to my phones, and or trying to they began threatening me with everything. They threatened my family, threatened my loved ones, threatened that they were going to kill me. It was terrible because they claimed I was trying to do a protest to overthrow the government.
Were you charged with any serious criminal charges? Did they charge you for anything even after this, despite this torture and despite this arrest?
No, they didn't charge me for anything.
How did you not?
They didn't charge me for anything. After they're done with me at the police commissioner's office, then I was made to sleep somewhere around there till the following morning, and then before they simply went to dump me in the cell.
Prior to this,
and then I must also add that the following morning, on June 12th, they took me out of the cell again. Then I was hooded and handcuffed to the back. My hands were handcuffed to the back, and they said they were moving me to Abuja.
Prior to this, you had a press conference calling for the We Are Hungry, a press conference, a protest on June 12th, which started demands were actually stated. Eventually, the protest held. What would you like to say about that? Despite the clampdown, despite your arrest, despite your torture, the protest still went on. What we have?
Yeah, it was a further confirmation, indeed, that you can't stop an idea whose time has come. So you can kill the prophet, right? But you can't kill the message. The message is out there. Nigerians are feeling it. Nigerians are indeed very hungry. And let me give you a little bit. Even the police, they are very hungry. When I was with them, I saw some of them complaining after President Tinubu made the speech. One of them said, "Oh shit, this man made the speech and he didn't make a single statement about minimum wage." Then I asked her that was exactly why we were protesting, and immediately she said, we are under strict instructions. It's so it's the fact that the protest went on, and it went on across 14 states, despite the repression. It's a reflection of the amount of hunger and hunger in the land. And the truth of the matter is that the government better know for now that repression won't stop people from complaining that they are hungry and they are starving, that they are dying. It won't fix anything until the government decides to do the needful. And what exactly were our demands? Our demands are clear and straightforward. The regime needs to reverse all the policies that is responsible for the triple-fold inflation that have currently hit our economy. And what are these particular policies? It must immediately reverse this fuel subsidy removal that is responsible for it. It must immediately reverse the hike in electricity tariff. As a matter of urgency, the government must also revise its policies of naira flotation or whatever they decide to call it. And without which Nigerians will continue to suffer the ripple effect of this bad policy. As a matter of fact, the neoliberal policies President Tinubu is implementing in 2024 was adjudged to be useless by the IMF itself in 2016 report that I think was published by Financial Times. And all of these policies, these policies that they are recommending to Tinubu in 2024, IMF by itself admitted that it's not working in a report in 2016. So why exactly is the president deliberate about making lives of Nigerians miserable? Even students can no longer go to school due to astronomical increases in school fees from University of Lagos, University of Ibadan, down to Uniben, many campuses across the country, Unijos. Students can no longer afford the cost of education. As authorities are beginning to increase fees to the tune of 300%, 700%. Then the president came and launched what they call student loan. No, what students need is not loans; they need grants. And we have, if only the billions and trillions they are wasting, lavishing on themselves to buy SUVs, and the 20 billion, how much they used to construct the VP's house now, that amount of money that they are lavished on themselves could have funded education, could have paid decent salaries for workers. And I want to also use this moment to commend the trade unions for insisting on their struggles on minimum wage, and they need not back down under any circumstance. The Nigerian workers deserve as much minimum wage as they demand.
Do you believe like your detention and incarceration has what amount to a chilling effect on human rights advocates and the freedom of expression?
The essence of what they do really is to silence voices, silence critics, so that they can keep impoverishing the Nigerian people without no opposition voices. But the matter is that even if you decide to kill all the existing human rights activists, others would rise up, so long as the government continues to oppress and impose poverty policies on the Nigerian people. They will complain. So long as insecurity persists in the north, they will rise up.
Do you have any plans to be more quiet?
I've never been quiet, so it's not going to start now.
Comrade Juwon, thank you so much for being with us.